Okay, we're back with Unit 2, Lesson 3, Multiply and Divide with Eights. So our lesson focus is to explore patterns in eights, count bys, multiplication, and divisions, and solve multiplication problems. Now, this probably sounds familiar because this was the same lesson focus that we've done when we did zeros, ones, twos, threes, fours, fives, sixes, nines, and tens. So we're still using those same strategies that we've been using, but we're just doing it with eights. And our vocabulary is the fast array drawing. So we're going to go over that at the end. Okay, so first we want to do the multiplication. And we have been doing this for quite a while. So the first thing we're going to do, obviously, is we're going to find a group of 8. And I love this board because I can actually easily just find 8. And so I know one group of 8 equals 8. And so then I'll find my second group. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I have two groups of 8 equals 16. Now we've been doing this for, like I said, zeros, ones, twos, threes, fours, fives, sixes, eights, well, now eights, nines, and tens. So this is something that should be really familiar. So I want you to pause right now, and I want you to work on this by yourself, and then tell me, and then when we come back, you'll see my answers, but I also want you to compare what you have. So it's very important. Pause right now. Pause. Thank you. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, I have filled in the rest of it, and I've circled all around my board. So 3 groups of 8, 1, 2, 3 groups of 8 equals 24. 4 groups equals 32. 5 groups of 8 equals 40. 6 groups, here actually I should put probably that. Okay, 6 groups equals 48. 7 groups of 8 equals 56. 8 groups of 8 equals 64. 9 groups of 8 equals 72. And 10 groups of 8 equals 80. Now, really, the only problems that you have never seen before is right here, because you saw the ones when we were doing multiplication by ones, 2 times 8 when we were doing multiplication by 2, 3 times 8 when we were doing multiplication of 3, and so forth and so on. So you get that. So the only problems that are brand new to you is 7 times 8 and 8 times 8. Okay, so you should know these other problems already. Now we're going to go on, if you look in your SAB book, which you should have right in front of you, if you look at page, I'm not quite sure what page it is, sorry, I cut that off, but it'll be Unit 2, Lesson 3, it'll be the first page on there, it'll be the next page you have. And it says, what patterns do you see below? We've played this game every time. So I want you to notice that this board is set up the same way that I set up my board. So here's the 1 group, the 2 group, the 3 group, the 4 group, the 5 group, 6 group, 7 group, and 8 group, 9 group, and here's the 10 group. And I'm sorry if you, since I'm recording this at home, if you hear a little jingle or a whine, Zane has decided to come into the room with me. So, and now he cannot get out of the room because he closed the door behind him. So he's just going to have to wait. So look at these patterns. This is the multiplication, and the next thing we're going to do is the division. So you can just use the board that you've already set up, and look, if you have 80, and you divide it into 8 groups, you get 10. 72 divided into 8 groups, you get 9. This page over here is for division. So I want you to be thinking about, okay, what we go back to on the last page, the division. So 8 divided by 1 equals 8. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. And then I want you to figure out the rest of this. Work with a partner and use your sheet. Use the sheet from the SAB page. Okay, so you probably should have paused there, and this is going to take you longer to go through this. I know we're still practicing how to blend and such, but I want you to take as much time. If ever any of this confuses you, because I'm new to recording this, pause it, talk it out with a friend, listen to it again, rewind it. Those are all great strategies. The great thing about this video is that if you miss something, you just go back. These videos will be on Blackboard forever. Well, maybe not forever, but until the end of the year. So you can always go back and use these strategies. That would be Zane, sorry. So strategies for 8's multiplication. So we've done a couple. I'm going to start with 7 times 8, and I'm going to break it down into 3 equations, or into 2 equations that I know. So I know 4 times 8 equals 32, and I know 3 times 8 equals 24. So that would be 7 times 8 when I add it all together, and it's going to equal 56. So that's one way to do it. Break it down into equations that you already know. Like I said, when we were doing the multiplication on the whiteboards, you've done these before. You've done all of them except for the 7 times 8 and the 8 times 8. So you know all of the other ones. Another way you can do it is that you can start with a problem you already know. So 5 times 8 equals 40. I always think the 5s are the easiest one to start with this. Well, if I add 8 more, that would be 6 times 8, and that equals 48. If I add 8 more, that would be 7 times 8, and that equals, as we learned over here, 56. And so then if I add 1 more, it would equal 64, and that would actually be 8 times 8. So those are just some strategies. You can actually use this with any numbers. So when you get stuck on 5s, 3s, 9s, go to a problem you already know and then just add on. That's all that multiplication is. It's repeated addition, okay? So fast array drawing, that has been one of our vocabulary words. Now, when we were doing array drawings before, if we had a problem like 2 times 8, I would actually put 2 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over here. And then I would count all of them. And I would see that 2 times 8 equals 16. Well, with a fast array drawing, instead of filling out everything, because once we get into larger numbers, that's a lot of circles you have to do. So you could really just do, if it's 2 times 8, you'd do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'll put one right there, 8, and then here 1, 2. And so I'm not filling in the rest of it. I'm kind of imagining it. And I know when I see this that it's actually 2 times 8. And I could either just do 8 plus 8, or hopefully that's one of the problems that you know. The 2s are really easy because you can just do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I hope that helped you a little bit. So your homework, actually, or not your homework, but your SAB page is the fast array drawings, and you're going to be filling in the unknown. So here, if you look at number 2, I'm going to actually start with 2. That's the one that we just did. So we would actually think, what's 6 times 8? Okay, and so if you needed to, you could fill it in. You could also add 8 6 times. You could use a number line. You could use your whiteboard. There are so many strategies to use. Here is 6 on number 1, though. 6 times something equals 42. So you could either do 42 divided by 6, or you could figure out, okay, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, that would 6, this would be 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, and 42. So I'm actually just counting as I'm doing that. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would know that 6 times 7 equals 42. So that's how you can use the fast array instead of filling it all in. So that kind of helps because then you're counting by and you're skip counting, which you've been practicing since first grade, I should know. So finish this page and then check it in the big black binder with the answers. Do it first. Don't just copy the answers. Is that helping anybody? No. This is practice stuff, okay? This is all practice. Then you get to practice it in your homework, but then you get to show me on the test. You don't have a book on the test. So if you don't know it, how to do these things on your own, and you don't figure it out, then you're going to have problems on the test. And you're just going to have to watch this video all over again. So I'd probably take my time and do it correct the first time. Finally, your homework. Just do both of the homework and remembering pages for Unit 2 and Lesson 3. Unit 2, Lesson 3. It's both pages, but they're front and back. So you just need to get them from the folder that is in the pink crate up front, and you can grab that and do it. And then when you're done, turn it into the black tray in the back of the room so that I can check it for you later. Remember, if you don't do great on this, you will have to redo it. So please take your time. You can work with a partner all the time. I want you to talk it out. Sometimes they can probably explain it better than I can. So finish that. When you're done with that, look at the rest of the stuff on Blackboard. There's some games and things that you can work on. So have fun.